this is what's happened. I sit down to film, and this is what I have. Welcome to motherhood. Been here for 10 years. Hello, it is Natalie Locke here, and this is my channel that you happen to stumble upon. If you want to keep stumbling, hit subscribe, and you can watch me go through being a full-time workaholic. I'm trying to work on that. A mom and a writer, and a writer who's decided to make Millwordy a double Millwordy of critiquing, editing, and writing 2 million words in a year. It's gonna be fun. This video is a little bit different from my vlog though, and it is going through my editing process. Right now, my editing process is based off my first manuscript. My second manuscript is more of a zero draft, and so that editing process is going to be a little bit different, and I'll touch on that. And this video is my goal setting videos of writing advice in 10 minutes or less. So after you've written all the words, the next thing you're going to do is do a single read through of your entire work. Now, when you do this read through, you want it to be in a different format or font than what you wrote it in. If you want to keep it on the computer, change the font. If you want to print it out and hold it in your hands, you can do that too, but have a pen ready to make notes. In both of these situations, you want to make notes only. You do not want to start editing immediately. You are only making notes of what you want to change. First step, read through the whole story and write your notes down. Second, this is where you're going to incorporate your notes. All those notes you did, all the typos that you found, this is where you're going to do it. After you've done that, I personally suck at grammar. I make a lot of typos. So for me, I throw my entire document into Grammarly or editminion.com so that those software and website can catch any weak verbs, can catch any subject-verb disagreements, anything along those lines that would trip a reader up when going through my book. The next step is going to be alpha readers. Alpha readers are really key. These are the people that are going to be able to catch the inconsistencies. Maybe you accidentally changed the time of day that your story takes place, or you refer to, oh yeah, last night. Wait, was it last night or was it 2 days ago? I'm confused. They are going to catch things like that. They may not catch everything. I will say that, which is why you want to have more than one alpha reader. But your alpha readers are going to be the people that will catch those little minutiae. They will also be a little more forgiving than beta readers when you say, hey, it's kind of a work in progress. Personally, alpha readers are my trusted people that I don't mind if they have my story. I know they're not going to judge me when it's really rough, and they are going to be my sounding block almost. It's going to probably be about 1 to 3 people. I personally, when it comes to readers, I like odd numbers because that way when their feedback comes back, if the majority, like 5 out of 7, comes back, hey, I don't like this, or hey, I don't understand this, then I know I'm headed in the right direction of what I need to fix. Because sometimes knowing what you need to fix is just as important as figuring out how to fix it. After I take the alpha reader feedback and I incorporate those in, my next step is beta readers. And keep in mind, anytime you're incorporating feedback between Grammarly or Edit Minion or alpha readers, you're probably going to get some ideas while you're editing to incorporate into your story. That's fine. Make the changes. It's your story. It's okay if you keep on making changes every single time you touch your work. That's fine. Personally, I like to, when I'm incorporating feedback, I like to go chronologically through my chapters, but that's just me. I know some people, they might have to attack a big scene, and so they might tackle that first, even though that part of the story is at the end. Now, after you incorporate the feedback from your alpha readers, the next step is to do your beta readers. Beta readers are going to be able to catch the fine minutia. Now, this also could be critique partners as well. Now, for me, I'm kind of a beta reader and a critique partner, but the only reason I'm a critique partner is because I write as well. Otherwise, like my mother, she's strictly a beta reader or an alpha reader because she only reads and she still gives me good feedback. Mom's great for that. Now, if you're a little confused on the difference between beta readers and critique partner, I do have a video and I will link it here of how to be a good beta reader, critique partner, sensitivity reader, kind of knowing the differences between. Once you get your feedback from your beta readers, critique partners, what have you, you're going to incorporate the feedback again. I say incorporate the feedback, but I'm not saying whatever they say is law, change it, because at the end of the day, it is your story. You are going to know when the reader says, hey, I'm confused here, you're like, well, you're supposed to be confused because it's going to make sense 2 chapters later. You're not going to make them unconfused in that scene because that was not the plan for the story. Unless maybe they're still confused 2 chapters later. Then that could be an issue. And the other thing is sometimes, especially because with beta readers and critique partners, I usually pull a lot more people than I did for alpha readers. Here, I'm probably going to have more of a chance of conflicting feedback. This has happened so many times where I've had a person say, I love this line, and another person go on, you know what, this kind of tripped me up. Well, you have artistic license as the writer. You choose which way you want to go. The next thing to do for me is to incorporate the feedback. No surprise there. And I'm probably going to be editing some other things that I notice as I'm incorporating. The last thing that is done is not for everyone. For me personally, I do plan to have sensitivity readers for my first manuscript therapy sessions. The reason is I have a main character that is dealing with anxiety. Now, I have anxiety, so I feel okay with that. But she goes and sees a therapist, and every chapter is an hour session with her therapist. I am not a therapist, so I'm not exactly sure I depicted the therapist correctly. So my sensitivity readers are therapists, people trained in the field that I'm writing about. And you may think, hey, it's just a job. You just Google it. Therapy is a little bit different. It would be like you would probably want to sensitivity read somebody in the medical field, maybe specifically oncology if you're dealing with someone with cancer, so that you are depicting exactly the right amount of empathy, compassion, advice that that person in that field would give. And that is why I'm getting sensitivity readers for my first manuscript. And the last step, but let's face it, we're writers, we're probably going to always be touching the thing. The last step is when I get feedback from the sensitivity readers, I incorporate their feedback. Now, I will say the difference between sensitivity readers and beta readers and critique partners and alpha readers is that when sensitivity readers give you well-constructed and thoroughly researched, either from their own experience or they have backup experience or research to back up what they've said, if you decide to not to use their feedback accordingly, unlike not taking the feedback of your beta readers and critique partners, you're going to face some consequences if you publish. So you might want to be aware. Now, like in my instance, if I had my sensitivity reader say a therapist absolutely would not say this, I might want to cut it if I'm trying to portray a good therapist. But if I'm trying to convey a therapist that is not perfect, that is very flawed, then I would possibly keep the line in and ignore my sensitivity reader's feedback. Just throwing that out there though. I'm not saying any feedback is law, but I'm just saying sensitivity reader feedback carries a little bit more weight than the other types of feedback that you will get through this process. That's my editing process, because once I get the last bit of sensitivity readers feedback and I incorporate that, and then I run it through Grammarly and Edit Minion and any other program that is supposed to save me from myself, I will then query therapy sessions. Whew. Hope I can do this. Now, the differences between therapy sessions and Project Parallel, which was my Nano project. Because Project Parallel is a zero draft, I don't feel comfortable printing it, because even though it would be cheaper, but I don't want to print it because I know there's so much that I need to add to it. So with Project Parallel, I plan to keep the document on my computer. I plan to read through the whole thing and write notes off to the side, then get it out for alpha readers. The process will be the same after that. It's just the beginning part that I'm changing up. But with that, that's my editing process. If you like this video, show it with the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're into this content, and we will continue this beautiful journey. Next Tuesday, I will come back with a week 16 and week 17 Millwordy summary. We're going to see where I'm at after this. Beta reader is someone who's strictly a reader. Hi. Yeah. Uh-huh. You. Go play.